channel. Ito magandang pag-usapan po ito hong naging legal opinion po ni Attorney Neil Abayon po mga kabida. Patungkol po ito sa mga kasong isinampa ni dating House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez laban po kay House Speaker Martin Romualdez at iba pa mga leaders po ng House of Representatives po. Dito sa inilabas na legal opinion, dalawang pinag-usapan po dito po mga kabida. Unang-una po, yung parliamentary immunity po ng mga mambabatas po natin. Okay? At pangalawa, ito pong possible arguments na pwede hong gamitin both camps. Ito pong kampo po ni Alvarez at kampo po ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ito po may kaugnayan po mga kabida sa mga blank checks or blank items na na-discover po sa loob po ng 2025 national budget. Ang tanong po dito is, maaari bang kasuhan ito pong mga mambabatas considering meron po silang parliamentary immunity? Pakinggan po natin ito hong paliwanag ni Attorney Neil Abayon. Narito po.
So una po, klaruhin ko muna kung ano ba yung kaso na final talaga mismo, okay? So based po on the news articles that I've read, ang final po dito nila former Speaker Alvarez and the rest of his group is unang-una po, falsification of legislative documents under the revised penal code and section 3E po of our Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Law, specifically Republic Act 3019, okay? At yung kinasuhan po dito is unang-una si current Speaker Martin Romualdez of the 19th Congress, Majority Leader Manix Dalipe, and mga iba pa pong congressmen and congresswomen na kasama sa Committee on Appropriations yung magiging mga defendants po in this case, okay? So una, i-discuss ko po muna yung falsification of legislative documents. So under our revised penal code po, very straightforward naman po yung definition and elements of falsification of legislative documents. Just like in any other falsification case po, if you do not have an authority to make any alterations, in this case, ang nangyari po is insertions or filling in the blanks. Pag wala po ko yung authority sa paggawa nun in a resolution or in a bill in Congress, that may constitute as a violation or as a commission of the crime of falsification of legislative documents. Okay? So yan po yung kailangan lang mapakita nila Speaker Alvarez sa korte, na yung insertion sa nangyari is wala pong authority yung mga congressmen, women, or yung staff na gumawa nun. Okay? So yan po yun. And for the side naman po dito ng defense nila Speaker Martin Romualdez, ang pwede po nilang i-argue dito. So una-una po, kaklaruhin ko hindi ko po sinasabi na ito yung gagamitin na defense nila Speaker Martin, but I am assuming po na posible nilang gamitin to considering ito po yung mga sinagot ni Congresswoman Stella Kimbo, the acting chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations, nung in-interview po siya, diba? So nung in-interview po siya regarding the filling in the blanks, ang sinagot po niya, unang-una authorized naman daw po yung technical working staff nila na mag-fill in the blanks, at yung mga dinagdag na figures ng staff is wala naman daw po silang discretion na ginawa doon. Sabi po niya sa interview is ministerial lang daw kasi nakakompute naman na daw po lahat, therefore ilalagay na lang yung numbers dun sa mga nakalagay na provisions na blank or sa line. Therefore, hindi daw yun insertion or filling in the blanks. Yan po yung sinabi ni Stella Kimbo dun sa interview. Again, ulitin ko hindi ko po sinasabi na yan yung magiging actual defense sila Congresswoman Kimbo, but I am assuming na pwede nilang gamitin yun or posible nilang gamitin considering yun yung unang statement ni Stella Kimbo regarding this issue. Okay, so yan po yung dalawang legal opinion sa magbabanggaan dito, at yan po yung i-determine ng korte kung meron nga ba talagang falsification because walang authority yung mga nag-insert from the BICAM report to the enrolled bill, or wala pong falsification because authorized naman daw yung mga gumawa ng insertions dahil dun sa omnibus motion na nilagay din nila sa BICAM report. So for educational and discussion purposes po, sabihin po natin part ako ng prosecution team, okay? So kung ako po maging part ng prosecution team, ito po yung most likely na gagawin kong argument kung bakit meron pong falsification of legislative documents na nagawa. So unang-una ko pong argument is that there was no valid delegation of authority to the technical working staff to fill in the blanks considering that act is unconstitutional, okay? Therefore, if it is unconstitutional, there is no valid delegation. Consequently, if there is no valid delegation of authority, there is now what we call falsification of legislative documents considering yung person na gumawa ng mga insertions or filling in the blanks na yon had no proper authority to fill in the blanks. Okay, so yan po yun. Reason po kung bakit nasabi ko na unconstitutional yung delegation of authority to the technical working staff, kasi kung tatandaan po natin, under the Constitution po natin, ang may kapangyarihan ng po talaga gumawa ng batas is yung Congress natin, meaning yung mga congressman, congresswomen, and or senators lang po natin, 'di ba? ba? And in this situation po, ang nangyari is that the Bicameral Conference Committee report was already signed and approved by the members of Congress, 'di ba? Doon sa Bicam Conference Committee. Therefore, dapat doon hindi na yun nila pakialaman. Lalo na po na yung Bicameral Conference Committee na yun is pinaratify din nila doon sa respective plenaries ng House of Representatives at ng Senate of the Philippines. Kung papayagan po or i-authorize na yung mga third persons is mag-fill in the blanks, ang dating po niyan ngayon is yung mga third persons na yun or yung mga technical working staff na yun, parang naging congressmen and women and or senators na rin po sila. Kasi again, tatandaan po natin yung Bicameral Conference Committee report that was signed was the same report. Ito according lang po to sa mga news reports na nakita ko, yung sinabi po ng ilang congressman na yung Bicameral Conference Committee na niratify daw nila may blanco lang din, di ba? Therefore, once ratified by Congress, final na yon, hindi na po talaga dapat galawin yon. To allow otherwise any insertions, filling in the blanks by third parties will defeat now the power of the plenary of Congress. Kasi after po ma-approve ng plenary, di ba, biglang may insertions gagawin itong mga third party. Therefore, matatalo po yung plenary power ng Congress. Mas malakas pa pala yung third person lang. Pwede lang sila basta-basta mag-fill in the blanks because quote and quote, meron daw po silang omnibus motion na inauthorize yun sila. So in that sense po, kung naintindihan po ninyo yung in-explain ko, this is really unconstitutional yung pag-delegate po ng ganyang authority because this will lead to violation or to the defeat of the plenary powers of Congress and possible abuses din po by third parties na hindi naman mga congressmen, women, and or senators. Kasi kung titingnan po ninyo, what if po pala yung mga employees na gumawa nun is meron pong mga personal agenda din or criminal intent. Paano po pag bigla nilang in-insert yun tas hindi nila sinunod yung dinirect sa kanila na kung ano lang numbers na sunod. So kung titingnan po talaga natin overall kung i-allow na valid delegation of authority yon, this can lead to abuses and even possible constitutional violations. Therefore po, considering everything I have discussed, the authority that was given to the technical working staff by the Bicameral Conference Committee via their omnibus motion is unconstitutional and is therefore void. Consequently, yung mga subsequent insertions and filling in the blanks after the approval in the plenary of the Bicameral Conference Committee may constitute as a crime of falsification of legislative documents. Okay? So yan po yung most likely gagamitin kong argument if I was part of the prosecution team in this case. Again, i-clarify ko po hindi ko sinasabi ito yung argument na ginamit nila former Speaker Alvarez and Attorney Topacio. This is my own professional point of view po, assuming lang po na I am part of the prosecution team. And again, i-clarify ko rin po ulit, this is just for education and discussion purposes. So ngayon punta naman po tayo sa parliamentary immunity discussion, okay? So kung titingnan po natin sa constitution po natin nakalagay dyan, for offenses punishable by not more than 6 years, members of Congress cannot be arrested, okay? So ang problema po dito ngayon sa case na final nila Speaker Alvarez, na former Speaker Alvarez, is yung falsification of legislative documents. Yung penalty lang po niyan is 6 months and 1 day up to 6 years. Therefore, covered po siya ng parliamentary immunity. However, take note po ngayon ang question naman po natin is kung pwede bang ma-issuehan ng warrant of arrest sila current Speaker Martin Romualdez against dun sa final na kaso nila former Speaker Alvarez because of that parliamentary immunity na minention ko pa lang po. At ang sagot po dyan is yes, posible pong ma-issuehan ng warrant sila Speaker Martin despite na po na-covered nung duration ng parliamentary immunity yung penalty ng falsification of legislative documents, considering po the second part of the sentence regarding parliamentary immunity, ang nakalagay po dyan is while the Congress is in session. So, ibig sabihin po niyang while the Congress is in session, ang parliamentary only applies pag nakasession ang Kongreso. Ano na po ba ang nangyari ngayon? Di ba nag-adjourn na po yung Congress nung February 5? Therefore, kahit na po less than 6 years and 1 day pa yung penalty ng isang krimen, pwede na po ma-issuehan ng warrant of arrest yung mga members of Congress against crimes na i-file against them considering the Congress is no longer in session. Therefore, parliamentary immunity will not protect said members of Congress. And that is most likely the reason why kung bakit sila former Speaker Alvarez, Attorney Topacio, final po nila tong case nila after nag-recess na po or nag-adjourn na yung Congress. Because by then, wala na pong parliamentary immunity yung mga members of Congress. Therefore, again, ulitin ko, kahit na po less than 6 years and 1 day yung penalty, pwede na po ma-issuehan ng warrant of arrest yung mga congressman na merong mga violations ng criminal laws natin. So yan po yan. Ngayon, with regards naman po the Section 3E of our Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, RA 3019, doon wala naman pong problema kasi yung penalty po niyan is 6 years and 1 month pataas po yan eh. Therefore, kahit na po naka-session pa yung Congress, pwede pa rin po ma-issuehan ng warrant of arrest yung mga members of Congress for the violation of that law po natin. Pero ito po, another clarification lang din kung mag-resume po ulit yung session by June 2, dun po meron ulit parliamentary immunity sila Speaker Martin Romualdez and the rest of the Congress people with regards dun po sa falsification of legislative documents. However naman po for Section 3E of RA 3019, kahit po mag-resume pa yan ng session ulit sa June 2, wala pa rin po or hindi po yan covered ng parliamentary immunity considering yung penalty po niyan is 6 years and 1 month. Up to 6 years lang po yung coverage ng parliamentary immunity. Therefore, pwede po mag-issue ng warrant of arrest yung korte in relation sa Section 3E. Assuming po na hindi ma-issuehan ng warrant during sa ngayong panahon until umabot ng June 2. So, yan po yung application and extent of the parliamentary immunity provision under our Constitution.
Ayun, reiteration lang po ito sa mga sinabi po mga kabida ni Attorney Neil Abayon. Ito po ay patungkol doon sa kanilang arguments o possible arguments na pwede ho nilang gamitin bukod camps, kampo po ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez at ating House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez, Dito ho sa question kung meron bang valid delegation of authority, doon ho sa third party. Ang sinasabi pong third party po dito ay ito pong mga legislative staff members ng BICAM, Kasi ito po yung sinabi po ni Stella Kimbo, ang acting chairperson po ng Committee on Appropriations, na yung sinasabi pong filling the blanks, yung kanilang mga legislative staff yung gumawa doon considering they are allowed under doon ho sa omnibus motion na sinasabi po ni Congresswoman Kimbo. Ang tanong po dito ngayon mga kabida is, meron po bang actual na valid delegation authority na inilabas po itong House of Representatives through a resolution para sa ganun na itong third party po ay talagang otorisado talaga to fill in the blanks kasi ang meron lang pong plenary powers po na gumawa po ng batas, mag-alter at saka mag-edit po ng batas ay ito pong mga congressmen at saka mga senador Kung ito hong mga legislative staff, meron pong resolution na ipinakita o inilabas po itong House of Representatives o di kaya yung BICAM na inalaw po itong mga third party po na gumawa po ng filling the blanks, okay, mga kabida, valid yun. Pero kung wala, yun po yung magiging argument po daw ng kampo po ni dating House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez. Now, sa kampo po ni House Speaker Romualdez, pwede ho nilang igiit yung omnibus motion. Now, dito ho tayo sa parliamentary immunity. Pasok ba yung parliamentary immunity doon ho sa mga kasong isinampa? Considering yung kasong isinampa, yung falsification of legislative document ay meron lang pong less than 6 years yung imprisonment po mga kabida, yung parliamentary immunity po ng Kongreso po ay hindi ho sila pwedeng hulihin at maglabas po ng warrant of arrest kung ang kaso po na isinampalaban po sa kanila ay less than 6 years. Ang tanong po dito po ngayon is kung ang parliamentary immunity ba ng congressman at saka senador ay valid po ba sa mga panahong ito, considering tapos na po yung kanilang session. Okay, mga kabida. Yan po yung punto na ni-raise po ni Attorney Neil Abayon doon sa kanyang punto de vista po mga kabida. Kung pagbabatayin po natin yung recess ng kanilang session po mga kabida ay maaari po silang hulihin kung sakaling pong meron pong warrant of arrest laban po sa mga naturang mga respondents. Ayan.